Welcome to the Improve Work podcast. I'm your host, Daniela Tancău, an HR consultant helping entrepreneurs and team leaders build motivated, high-performing teams. Here we talk about leadership, employee motivation, and other topics that enhance your ability to lead, whether you are an entrepreneur with a team, a business owner planning to build one, or a leader in a company. You'll gain practical advice and insights from me and my guests, experts in the field and entrepreneurs who share their leadership experiences. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe to stay updated on every episode. Let's dive into today's topic. Hi there. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the relationships team leaders have with their team members and how these relationships can either help or sometimes get in the way for both the leader and the employee, and even for the business itself. We'll discuss boundaries, how informal conversations and friendly relationships can impact employees' motivation, how they feel and how they behave in the workplace, as well as how communication focused only on accomplishing tasks and established goals might affect employees and their results. And we'll start by talking about why having good relationships with your employees is not the same as having motivated employees. Now, being able to actually build good relationships with team members, it's a positive thing, right? And it surely adds value to how they experience being in your company. However, having good relationships, it's not the same thing. You may know their hobbies, their private lives, situations, and challenges, and you may constantly have informal discussions with them or with some of them, but this does not guarantee that your team members are satisfied with their jobs. And this is because an employee evaluates his or her job based on their expectations regarding a number of factors. So, besides the relationship with their leader, their motivation is impacted by aspects such as the activities and responsibilities that they have in the company, the work environment, the benefits and the rewards they receive, of course, the relationships they have with other members of the company, the development opportunities that are available to them, the company's values, the internal practices and rules, and much more. Do you talk with your team members about these aspects? Are they asking for what they want, or do they say what they'd like to be different? Now, some employees prefer to look for other opportunities instead of asking for what they want from their current employer. Because sometimes it's easier for them to choose a new job that fulfills their needs to a greater degree than address their expectations at their current workplace and risk being rejected or judged for it, right? And no doubt that there are people who don't have any problem asking for what they want, and there are people who ask more than is reasonable. Although what is reasonable may be questioned, right? And the funny thing is that people who ask for and receive what they want may be less valuable to the company than those who don't ask. And as an HR professional, I have seen this situation many times. And I'm not saying that it's wrong that the person who asked received what he or she wanted, just that this creates situations that are not fair for those who contributed more. According to equity theory and research, employees compare consciously or unconsciously what they give and receive from the company with what other colleagues in similar positions give and receive. And more than this, some of them compare what they give and receive with what other people in similar jobs but at other companies give and receive. So our decisions are based on how we perceive things, and sometimes our perceptions are not accurate. They are wrong. This is why it's important to have conversations with your employees to find out how they perceive different aspects of their work and to understand their particular needs and expectations. It's a leader's job to know his or her people and create safe and transparent relationships with them. Only in this way you can find out what drives them and help them grow in the directions they want. How to have these strategic conversations? You'll find a step-by-step guide in my online program named How to Motivate Your Employees so they care for your business and help you grow it. This will help you address those questions through which your employees' needs and expectations are identified and create personalized action plans for each of them to improve their motivation. And in addition to this, I'll give you my support through online meetings, one-to-one meetings, where you can address the particular situations from your company and discuss the questions that you have. You'll find more details about this program on my website, improvework.ro, and you'll find a link on the description of this episode. You can also email me at office@improvework.ro. Let's go a layer deeper now. So sometimes trying to be friendly with your team members while also leading them can create tension and impact both their performance and the team's morale. For example, have you ever been in a situation where you were in good terms with a team member and the relationship was easy, but you realized that you needed to tell them something about their work that might upset them and harm the relationship? And maybe you sometimes overlooked certain things just to maintain the relationship as it is, only to later notice that those issues were repeated and that it was absolutely necessary to address them. Or have you ever been in situations where things were not done on time because you spent too much time discussing personal matters or topics unrelated to the task you should have discussed? And looking from another angle, have you been in situations where you were so focused on the team's goals and planned everything with them, but didn't take the time to see how they are, whether they need support, if they face challenges, or what their moral is? They might have thought that you only care about achieving the goals and not about them. And this could have decreased their engagement and motivation as well. How can you balance these two behaviors? Let's see some ways to find the right balance between being friendly and supporting and being focused on efficiency and achieving results. A balance that benefits not only the business but the employees too. The first thing that I will say is to maintain work standards consistently without making exceptions. Once team members understand what is required of them and that you'll not allow or accept deviations, they will take the standards seriously. And this is because if you sometimes address a certain issue and sometimes you don't, they may think that it is not important to you, that you favor certain people, or that they can influence you because of your friendship with them. And none of these scenarios will earn the respect or deliver the results you want, right? Then, when personal discussions tend to be too long, redirect them to the work task that need to be accomplished. Another aspect is that relationships are built in the working process too. When members have the leader's trust, when they receive support if they need it, when they can develop in the directions they want, when they receive appreciation for their work, when they feel safe to speak openly without fear of losing something if they are honest. Then one way to show you care about your team members is to create a safe space for them. Resolve tensions, conflicts, or disagreements within the team and check their morale from time to time, as these issues can consume a lot of their energy and attention. If team members are not united, if they sabotage each other, or if they don't believe they can accomplish certain tasks, they won't perform well, no matter how good the plans you made for them are. Then you can create opportunities for informal discussions just as intentionally as you create opportunities for formal discussions. So, for example, provide recreational or lunch spaces where you can interact in a more relaxed way with team members and where they can interact with each other as well. You can also bring them together for a festive lunch every now and then, for example, or at team building events. Friendly relationships with team members are not actually outside the team's leader's role. To be more precise, a role is defined by a set of expectations from the person who holds a certain position, as well as a set of rights this person has toward those for whom their role exists. So, for example, a parent is expected to behave in certain ways toward their child, and they also have certain rights in that relationship. Similarly, anyone in a team leader position is expected to behave in specific ways, with variations depending mostly on the company and its culture. These expectations and the rights are not fixed. They can be negotiated and change under the influence of various factors, such as the personal traits of the leader, team members with different leadership experiences and expectations, employees' levels of experience and competence, their confidence in their abilities, technological changes, and much more. Coming back to typical behaviors associated with a team leader's role, friendly relationships fall under the umbrella of a leader's consideration behavior. What do I mean by this? So, according to early studies on leaders' behavior, a leader has two major types of behaviors: consideration and structuring. Consideration is about the extent in which the leader is approachable and shows care for team members. Such leaders are seen as friendly, impartial, and protective with their team members. And the structuring aspect, the extent to which the leader focuses on achieving the team's goals. They emphasize standard procedures, work scheduling, and the distribution of people across activities. And some leaders may have stronger skills in structuring team activities than in building a cohesive, united team, while others may be great at both. So, how would you assess your own skills in building relationships and organizing work? These two functions have a major impact on the employee satisfaction and performance. In some situations, consideration is more appreciated, bringing satisfaction and increasing performance, while in other situations, the structuring function is more important and increase employees' motivation and satisfaction. So let's see some of these situations. So when employees are under deadline pressure, or they don't know how to do their task or face external threats, they appreciate the structuring behaviors more, the structuring function more. And when the work goals and methods are very clear, employees appreciate the consideration behavior more. They don't need guidelines or indications because they already know what to do. In fact, they can become dissatisfied when they receive guidelines if they don't need them. And another situation when the activities employees perform gives them intrinsic motivation, the needs for structuring and consideration are not so important. So, for example, if a programmer likes the projects he's working on, he doesn't need constant attention or encouragement from his leader or her leader to make progress. Even if he doesn't always know how to do something, he's motivated enough to look for answers and solutions. So, building strong relationships with your team isn't just about being friendly, it's about helping them succeed while reaching your business goals. It's a balancing act, but when done right, everyone wins. Think about your team members and how much you adapt your behaviors to their needs, like their experience, competencies, confidence in their abilities, and the different contexts they work in. Which of your current behaviors and approaches are working for a particular employee right now, and which aren't? How could you improve each relationship? Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and share it with other leaders or managers who might benefit. And I love to hear your thoughts. How do you balance being friendly and getting results with your team? Drop me a message or a comment. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you found value in this podcast, one way to support us is by subscribing. For more tools and insights to enhance your leadership skills and your employees' motivation, visit my website at improvework.ro. There you'll find a variety of online programs and courses. You can also book a free consulting sessions or a discovery call with me. I love to connect and support you on your leadership journey. See you in the next episode.